Hi everyone. I know it's been a long time since my last video came out. First of all, I know that we are in a very critical situation right now. I wish everybody to stay safe and stay healthy so we can enjoy our coffee for the rest of our life. Today, let's talk about some of the home roasting options that I had in the past, and I would like to share my experience with you. I'm also going to talk about some of the advantage and disadvantage for each roasting setup and roasting options. Let me know if you want to know more details on any of the roasting option, and I will make a new video about it as well. Enjoy. So let's start with the most popular options would be the popper. This is the popcorn popper machines. This one is the Air Crazy. I think these days this is the most recommended method for home roasting because it's cheap and easy to get. So for this type of popcorn popper, you have to disconnect or remove or move away they have a thermostat. That is a device to sense the temperature. Whenever the temperature is become too high, it will shut off the heating elements. But because when you're roasting coffee, you want the temperature is actually higher than when you're roasting your popcorn or popping your popcorn. So for any kind of popper, you will have to remove the thermostat or move it to some other places than the chamber. So how this popper is going to work is you have to look for a popper that have the channel like this. So you will when you turn on the fan, will create a vortex. So the bean will swirl in the chamber, and the hot air is going to circulate the beans and go around the beans. So there is another type that is you will have a kind of like a net style that the air will come straight from the bottom and just blow up, but you don't want that kind. So actually, I highly recommend going with a Westband. Should be the Poppery 2, Westband Poppery 2. I had one, but it was, you can only find a second hand. There is no brand new anymore. So I think the best bet is from eBay. But that one, why I would recommend that one? Because you see the chamber is a little bit small on this one, and this is actually one of the disadvantage for going with the popcorn popper, because the chamber is relatively small. You can only roast maybe enough bean for I would say like 6 or 7 times of use. So but for the if you go with the Poppery 2, you have two advantage. One is the temperature can go higher than the some other model, for example this one, and the biggest advantage is the chamber is bigger. So bigger means you can roast more beans at a time. But yeah, like I said earlier, mine just broke a while ago, so I have to go with the other option. When I had mine, I will, of course, modify the heating elements so that it will come out with two wires. One plugs go with the heating elements, another plug go with the fan. So that advantage is I can add a speed controller on the heating element, so I can control the temperature at different levels. So that's a little bit more of a custom option for the popper. But eventually, I found this option it's like I said earlier, you can only roast like that many beans at a time, and I don't like to go batch after batch. So I eventually moved away from this option, even though I did a lot on the modification. If I have a chance, I actually think about maybe getting another one just for making videos to show you guys how you can modify that. But beware, because this machine is not what they make for. So always be with when you roasting coffee, you want to be always looking at your operating machine. You don't want to walk away from it, because there is chances it will caught on fire at any time. So my other options will be this popcorn popper again, but this is like a stovetop option. So and rods, and when you turn the handle, it will turn the stirring rod. So you will stir your beans. So you just put it on your stove top, and you keep stirring, keep the stirring motion, and the beans will inside, and you can hear the bean pop a little bit better with this. But the disadvantage of this is you don't have much control on the heat, and a lot of time if you want light rolls or medium rolls, it will be very difficult, because I don't know if you guys have a very good temperature stovetop, like temperature control on your stovetop, but I don't. So this is my second option, and that's actually after I use my highly modified popcorn popper. So that eventually I move away from this to, for most people, that would be the best option for them, which is the SCTO roaster. So SC stand for stir crazy, TO stand for turbo oven. So you actually want to use a turbo oven with your stir crazy. That is something like a automatic version of this. Just hook it up with power, so it will stir it by itself. So again, you need to this is the stir crazy by default. This black plate is heated, so when you turn it on, it will have heat at the bottom, but I disable it because I don't want direct heat from the heat plate. I would much prefer the turbo oven providing the heat, but some people say it doesn't really matter, but it's just my preference. Again, I like to try to improve it from the original design. This is something I learned from the volume or the online. They use aluminum foil. This is I think it's 1-inch pipe cover. So it's a copper pipe cover, or lid. You just bought it and you create two channel for the stirring rod. Some people will make some attachment. I'm actually thinking about extend this a little bit so it will cover the edge a little bit better. You make two channel or two for the rod, so it will cover it on top. I did some modification on this too, because it was come with a plastic material. Now it's steel plastic. So you want to cover it up so the heat won't destroy any plastic on top or at the bottom. But I changed the motor to a little bit faster version, faster model, so when the stirring motion will be a little bit better. So how this work is you put your turbo oven as a lid, and you make a spacer to keep the turbo oven away from the stir crazy machine. Otherwise it will be too close to the beans. So this you can get it to from hardware store like Home Depot, Lowe's, and you get a one long stripe straight stripe, and you just bend it little by little and make it a circle. And I make a little channel here, so it will clip a little bit, clip on here, so the shaft will escape, because the turbo oven will have a little bit blowing air, so the shaft will exit from that end, and you just use a colander to catch it. So the advantage, this would be my most preferred option, because you can roast, I would say like more than like maybe a half a pound at a time, but I usually roast like 200 grams, a little bit more or less, 200 grams, because that's what I use for like maybe a week. So you can definitely roast a lot more compared to popcorn popper, but at the same time you will have the turbo oven to control your temperature. These are some roughly number, like if you just use it like mine. Some people will put a temperature device somewhere, like maybe here, and so you can monitor the temperature. But for me, I just don't want to use that time to do that. I would just use my sight and use my ear, use my experience. I think that's also part of the fun too. So these three options will be my main recommendation for, like, if you want to roast your coffee at a relatively inexpensive way. That would be a good starter option for you guys. They both have some good and bad, so I really recommend you to think about like which style suits you the most. Because, like, for example, if for the SCTO options, definitely you're gonna have more equipment. It's the most expensive. For this set, I spent roughly like $70 with the motor swap. That will put me at around like $100. The cheapest way will be the popcorn popper machines. That is like $30 maybe, or 20 something dollar. This one is also not expensive, maybe $30, $35, and I recommend you to try out different options, so you know a little bit more about like roasting beans at home. And definitely for sure, this is not mean by any means you can produce beans at the quality that you can get from your local roaster, because it's just not gonna happen. Like they spend like thousands of dollars on their professional equipment. There's no way you can replace that with something like a 200 or 100 something dollar equipment, homemade equipment. But this will be something that for the learning tool of ourselves, so we know how beans are roasted, how at the same time, the main reason for me when I try to start out home roasting is because I don't get a good I don't have any local roaster around my house, so I don't want to drive like an hour just to buy some beans every a week or so. So I want to try it out, and but the main drive is I want to learn. I want to learn the process. I want to enjoy it. Since we're talking about like home roasting, I also want to address one point. Some people say home roasting coffee is also saving you money. That is true if you only consider how much you pay out of pocket, but it's also not true because you also spending your own time on it. So your time is cost money too. So yeah, I think that's wraps up what I would like to talk to you guys today. And if you have any questions, please leave me a comment. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up, give me a like, and if you would like to see some of my future video, please subscribe me. I am really thinking about to continue my video making. I know I don't make the best quality video on YouTube, but I try to share my thought with you guys. So leave me a comment, leave me about what you think about this video or what you know about home roasting. We can exchange information, knowledge. Definitely, by no means I'm not any like professional. I just started, but I like to share with my friends. So hope you like it. I will see you guys next time.